American opportunity has been synonymous with people on the move. Homesteaders heading west, the great migration wave to the north, you moving east for that dream job. But high housing costs and low home supply has stifled American mobility. Author Yoni Appelbaum focuses on that dilemma in his new book, Stuck. We talked to him for tonight's interview. So, Yoni, just to start, let's get our terms right. What is the mobility crisis or the challenge in mobility that America faces right now?
You know, we talk a lot about having an affordable housing crisis, and it's true, housing is too expensive in the places Americans most want to live, but it's really cheap in other parts of the country. The problem is we've got a mismatch. We've got a mobility crisis. People can't do what they've done for 200 years in America. They can't leave the places with fewer opportunities and choose to go to the places that have more opportunities.
Is it possible to distinguish those who move and those who don't?
This is another reversal. For a long time, the people who moved in America were those seeking a better life for themselves. Increasingly, moving in America has become a privilege of the affluent and the educated. The Americans who most need the kinds of opportunities that new locations could give them have become the least likely to be able to relocate there.
And why have we come to this pass?
You know, we've tied ourselves down with this web of rules, zoning regulations, building regulations, environmental reviews. All of these things are well intended. All of them were intended to address real problems that ordinary Americans have. But in aggregate, what they've done is they've made it almost impossible to build. And these rules are particularly severe in the places that are growing fastest and have made it particularly hard to build there.
And can you tell me a little bit more about these web of regulations and how they got there, who put them there?
You know, this was a problem created by 3 generations of progressive reformers who are each trying to solve a different problem. It starts in the original progressive era where they're trying to deal with urban disorder, so they create zoning regulations to try to sort things out. It goes through the New Deal where they're trying to deal with a housing crisis, and they spread zoning regulations everywhere in order to stabilize the housing market. And then in the 1970s, a wave of reformers are worried about government overreach, and they give private citizens the right to challenge every government decision. All of these made sense at the time, but if you add up those 3 generations of reform, what you get is a system where anyone with enough time and money can go and challenge a government decision and block somebody else's right to build.
What's the solution?
There are 3 simple solutions that can get us out of this mess. First, we need standard rules. The same rules need to apply in rich and poor areas alike. The second thing we need to do is practice a little bit of tolerance. We have to allow different forms of housing into our neighborhoods so that people at different stages of their life and from different backgrounds can all move in. And the third thing we need to do is build housing, a lot of it. We've got 50 years of housing creation to make up.
What is the locality that's thinking most innovatively about these challenges?
I started writing this book when I was living in Cambridge, Massachusetts, in an apartment that was a little too small for my family, that charged us a little more than we could actually afford. And people were just then starting to advocate for Cambridge changing its rules to allow it to become again what it had once been, a working class community that allowed people to move there for the factories in town and boost themselves up in the world. It's taken 15 years, but last week Cambridge changed the rules, and instead of having single-family zoning, they're going to allow people to build up to 6 stories throughout the city. This kind of change is possible.